Hate it or love it, Star Citizen is a work in progress and has been so for quite a while. But that does not mean there aren't bugs which have been or are utterly devastating. I mean, there are still plenty of bugs which exist. Simplest examples we can bring is with missions. You pick up a mission, you go to a location, perhaps you delay yourself too long, get caught doing something else briefly, and then go visit the location. The mission marker either doesn't trigger, the mission items aren't there, or mission NPCs aren't spawning in. There's plenty of ways the game can still end up being broken. Perhaps one of the more common issues, which I have faced pretty much from the start, has actually been reloading. Now, that is interesting how it can sometimes work. Sometimes you just need to reload twice for the game to understand that you actually reloaded your weapon. Other times you can just continue on reloading and reloading and, well, reloading. Just going on to infinity and your weapon still not being reloaded. But considering what the game was or has been and what it's now, it's a lot more stable. You used to be very careful with your actions of all sorts in the game. Worst case scenarios, some actions or being very rush in some actions could clip you to the ground, push you to the ground, just instantly kill you, like jumping out of the building into a high wind area, push you to the ground and pretty much kill you instantly. You actually needed to take time with some of these processes. You couldn't just rush everything. Because this game used to be very unforgiving with your time spent. Sometimes because of the bugs, other times because of the things which can happen. You need to be extra calm when interacting with some of these things. You need to let the game load in, give it a couple extra seconds. Go to the terminal, give it a couple extra seconds to load your ship menu. Pick a ship slowly, do not be in a rush, interact slowly. It all used to be you need to be very calm doing most actions. Because once you were in a hurry, you need to rush, that is when things start to go badly. The game has had better and worse states. Not to say it is in some ideal position right now, but at least it is playable and you can do most content without issues. This does not mean you can avoid them, but there are significantly less of them than there used to be. I remember days when I was just doing bunker running missions and I couldn't get a bunker where hostiles would spawn in. And that was roughly 3, maybe 4 years ago. Right now, big chunks of the content are actually doable, enjoyable. Now, it doesn't mean there aren't bugs, because the most mundane bugs, which I have encountered as of late, were me trying to do a hostile clearing mission in a cave. And everyone in that cave, well, even though they were hostile towards me, they weren't considered criminals, which ended up giving me a crime stat. Which was not the intended goal of the mission, but instead just clearing everybody out from that position. That also meant I failed the mission and, well, there was a bounty on my head, which meant I can either go to jail or just do some of the criminal activities. There is a nasty long list of bugs which this game has had. Some of them, of course, are not noteworthy. For example, before the cargo containers were introduced, the ship was just filled with cargo, and when you purchased it, the first time you entered your ship back after the purchase, there was no cargo in there, so first time may have had a slight panic attack, especially with some big ships. That also means sometimes when you were delivering these goods, your ship may not have shown up with any cargo whatsoever when you were trying to sell it, while actually it may have been filled. Actually, one of the latest bugs, which I'm pretty sure most players have encountered, is when you jump inside your ship, you go for a flight, your weapons get active, and not every weapon might get active. Now this has happened for me mostly with Corsair, but something similar can happen with other ships and other weapons. For example, your weapon is powered up, but there is no ammo recharging, no power ammo is being regenerated. All of these simple bugs eventually add up into an unpleasant experience, of course. But compared to where the game was years ago and where it is right now, it is in a rather enjoyable state. Not imperfect, because you still need to know how to interact with some of these bugs. For example, weapon bugs can sometimes be fixed by turning your engines and UI on and off. But seeing how it has progressed and how some of these bugs have, well, been fixed, I'd say there is hope, but I'm not sure when. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.